Hello and welcome to National Focus for Monday, July 15, 2024. I am Aaliyah Martin. In the headlines, government to present people-centered budget on Friday, July 26. Prime Minister Skerrit pledges $1 million to countries hit by Beryl. And Minister for Education evaluates 2 school projects. The details of the headline stories and more when we return.
Ride safe, wear a helmet, safer roads in the nature aisle. This message was brought to you by the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Welcome back. Prime Minister Beryl Skerrit has announced that the 2024 to 2025 National Budget Address will be presented on Friday, July 26, 2024. The budget will be presented by Minister for Finance, Economic Development, Climate Resilience and Social Security, Honorable Dr. Irvin McIntyre. The budget is expected to be a people-centered budget as it focuses on the development of citizens and the country.
Like always, we will seek to present a fiscal package that responds to the social and economic realities of our citizens, with policies designed to make a positive impact on their lives and livelihoods, taking into consideration the current global realities. The fact is, the world over, countries are grappling with the economic fallout of geopolitical conflicts, disease and disaster, which have resulted in inflation, loss of income, and an increase in inequality.
Government continues to make that required investment despite the global economic shocks that impact Dominica.
Here in Dominica, we are not immune to these economic shocks, but we have persisted in investing in social safety nets and the productive sectors to counteract adverse impacts, and also to keep our people in jobs, keep our young people in universities, and provide support to households and small businesses to ensure economic stability.
The 2024 to 2025 national budget will focus on the building of past developments and investments made over the years.
This year's budget will focus on our efforts to consolidate the gains we have made in recent years and outline priorities and measures to further stimulate economic activity, create employment, and improve long-term efficiency in the administration of our country's affairs.
A new outline of the nursing system will also be a feature on this year's budget address.
The Minister of Finance will also be expected to outline a new structure for the nursing service in Dominica, with the creation of several new positions, which will allow for the upward mobility of our nurses and to recognize their specialized and specialist training. And from all reports, in our discussions with nurses, they seem to be very excited about this new approach the government is taking when nurses are concerned. We have listened to the recommendations of those who participated in the recent consultations, and I believe this budget has something to benefit every citizen. I am confident that the Dominican people will be pleased with the budget presentation and its contents.
Government will make a contribution of $1 million to the Caribbean countries which were affected by the passage of Hurricane Beryl. This announcement comes as Prime Minister Beryl Skerrit joins other prime ministers of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, on a tour of the affected islands.
I intend to join some of my regional colleague prime ministers on a trip to St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tuesday, July 16th, that's tomorrow, to meet with Comrade Ralph Gonzalez and view firsthand the damage caused by Hurricane Beryl in the Grenadines. Like we did in Grenada last week, we will pledge our support to the affected countries and keep sounding the call for urgent and comprehensive climate financing reform.
Government will continue to boost its efforts to build climate resilience as climate change continues to significantly impact small island developing states.
We no longer have the luxury of sitting idly by as mere observers. The time for climate action is now, and this government will intensify its efforts to build resilience and rally more decisive and impactful action from the developed countries who should bear the bulk of the responsibility for this climate crisis. You will hear more from me on this in the coming weeks and months as my advocacy on this matter continues.
Citizens were encouraged to remain alert as they seek to protect themselves, their families, and their properties as the Atlantic hurricane season continues.
I urge our citizens to remain vigilant as we go through this hurricane season together. Let us continue to prepare and keep ourselves informed as the season progresses. As I always stress, we must all play an active role in protecting our families, property, and communities against the threat of severe weather. Your government will always have your back, but we must take personal responsibility for our own safety and security.
Government's assistance to the impacted countries, noting that it is the country's duty to assist those in need.
The government of Dominica will make a contribution to the affected countries in the tune of $1 million each for the countries affected. I believe that we have a duty, an obligation, both moral and ethical, to stand in solidarity with those who are affected, as it did for us on so many countless occasions in the recent past.
The islands of Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, and Jamaica were among the countries severely hit by the hurricane. Minister for Education Honorable Octavia Alfred has conducted yet another site visit to assess the progress on the construction of the Dominica Grammar School and the Goodwill Secondary School. The visit on Monday aimed to lead the ministry's plans for the reopening of schools in September 2024. The minister was accompanied by a technical team from the Physical Planning Division, contractors, and officials from the Ministry of Education.
Generally, the work is progressing well. What we will get in the end is top class, a very modern facility that will include a lot of things that more and more I see the need for us to start building human capacity so that this thing is operationalized to, maximum use. We have the auditorium work is going on there, which will hold about 600 people. We have work going on the administrative block. But what I was most interested in this morning is how will the work be done so that we can ensure that we can accommodate our students in September.
The visit allowed the minister to gain valuable insight into the construction challenges, enabling her to assess the situation and to make necessary adjustments.
The visit today meant a lot to me because now I know how I have to, tweak certain things to ensure that things get done so that the students can be in their setting, because this is not just about grammar school, it's also about the Goodwill Secondary School students. And so we have a responsibility, all of us, to put our heads together to ensure that we address these challenges for the good of the students, because we're talking a little more than almost 1,000 students or a little more, and we need to ensure that they're in school.
The Goodwill Secondary School was the next stop on the field visit.
The work is progressing very well. So far we see that we are now on the second floor of the classroom block. We see foundation works going up very quickly for the canteen and the technical wing. and the administrative block, we see work has already begun there also. I am very happy and satisfied with the progress at which the work is going. We are happy that more than 40 people, local people, are employed in this school, and I'm understanding that more than 5 million EC dollars has been spent purchasing material locally.
The minister expressed hope that the construction work would continue at a similar pace.
We are hoping that we can continue at that pace so that we can have this place so our students can really engage in the kind of learning that Dominica is looking for our people as we reform education and we build capacity in our people to serve in the different projects that we are undertaking, like the geothermal project and the international airport.
You're watching National Focus. More when we return. Welcome back. Government remains committed to the modernization of Dominica's electoral process. This is in a bid to not only ensure the continuity of free and fair elections, but to ensure that all Dominicans are able to use their right to vote.
We are committed to the reform and modernization of Dominica's electoral processes to continue with our tradition of free and fair elections, but also to ensure that that all Dominican citizens have the option to elect the government of their choice as long as they qualify to vote in Dominica. We want to strengthen our electoral system, promoting clear, open processes to ensure trust and integrity, equal access and opportunities for all eligible voters to participate, and impartiality in the conduct of our elections.
Government is currently awaiting feedback on the proposed electoral modernization legislation presented to the Electoral Commission back in May. The submission to the Electoral Commission followed extensive public debates, discussions, written recommendations from individuals and entities, and prolonged government-initiated electoral reform consultation.
In May of this year, we provided draft electoral reform legislation to the Electoral Commission for review and feedback, aiming to take the legislation to the Parliament within the shortest possible time frame. However, the Electoral Commission has written to me requesting additional time until the end of July 2024 to review the document. I have informed the chairman of my no objection to the request.
Copies of the proposed legislation were distributed to all the relevant stakeholders in Dominica, as well as regional and international organizations. Prime Minister Skerrit says government is open to recommendations and feedback from the public.
We look forward to receiving their recommendations at the end of July. And as I have said before, I am quite open to receiving and reviewing submissions on the proposed legislation from members of the public, including electoral reform interest groups. However, we must be willing to strike a reasonable balance. We have already gone through an exhaustive consultative phase in full view of the public and with the participation of the same people who seem to want us to delay and stall the process with more consultations. However, this government's focus is to bring this process to a close by passing the legislation in the Parliament and shifting our full attention to fostering economic growth in our country.
The proposed legislation provided includes the Registration of Electors Act and Regulations 2024, The House of Assembly Elections Act and Regulations 2024, which incorporates the House of Assembly Elections Petition Rules 2024 and the Electoral Commission Act 2024. The Dominica Olympic Committee DOC proudly presents 4 athletes who will be representing the Commonwealth of Dominica at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Dominica's team of athletes, consisting of 2 males and 2 females, mirrors the gender balance that will be achieved at Paris 2024, as for the first time in history, as Paris 2024 will have an equal number of men and women competing. It will also represent the first time in 24 years that Dominica has competed in another sport besides athletics at the Olympic Games. The athletes are Tia Lafo Gadson competing in the female triple jump, Mr. Denick Luke in the 800-meter race, Mr. Warren Lawrence with the Olympic debut swimming in the male's 50-meter freestyle, and Miss Jasmine Schofield, who is also making her debut swimming in the female's 50-meter freestyle. The Dominican team will be led by Chef de Mission Mr. Woodrow Lawrence, supported by team leader Mr. Brendan Williams and Olympic attaché Shelley and Mead. Mr. Billy Doctorow, President of the DOC, Honorable Finella Wenham Shepherd, Secretary General, along with coaches, physiotherapists, and press attaché, who will complete the team. The 2024 Summer Olympic Games will commence with an opening ceremony on July 26 and officially end on August 11, 2024. Paris is the main host city with select events held in surrounding cities in France. The Games will feature 329 events in 32 sports with 206 nations and over 10,000 participating athletes. Coming up next, the Creole News Highlight with Jano Jacob.
Bienvenue à ce nouvel en créole, nom monsieur Jano Jacob. Ministère pour l'Éducation, Honorable Octave Alfred, visité construction l'école secondaire Grammar School et puis Goodwill Jordi.
Bon, matin là, nous avons fait une petite visite côté Grammar School pour nous voir comment bâtir la marché. Nous sommes venus là déjà, et là, nous sommes venus là, pour déjà travail, fait travail à ce bloc là, les enfants là, mais ces enfants là, nous voyons on plus bon passer les autres enfants pour travailler là, commencer là, parce que nous, les blocs là, ces enfants là, là, pour y parler pour l'école qui a ouvert en septembre. Mais nous avons trouvé, nous avons tapé un petit challenge là, mais ce n'est pas un challenge, nous pas à adresser. Et nous avons dit, si nous adressons ce challenge ça la semaine ça là, contracteur là, j'ai d'accord pour y travailler la journée, la nuit, pour ces classrooms là pour ces enfants là vivre l'école. Parce que nous pas qu'à parler contre Grammar School seulement, et nous pas parler contre Goodwill Secondary School aussi. Mais nous n'y espoir qui nous n'y en place, nous n'y espoir qui Ministry of Education qui pas nous n'y espoir qui Premier ministre là avec les autres monde qui ça fait biter la marché par nous qui fait marché par nous pour nous ouvrir l'école en septembre.
Et le travail a continué en temps pour commencement l'école.
L'école ouverte, nous laissons ces enfants là en classroom yo. Et c'est ça contracteur là qui concentrate on actuellement pour yo travail là pour ces enfants là. Yo taper classroom yo paré pour septembre. So après nous sortir là aujourd'hui, nous allons parler avec différents monde pour yo faire cette tout pour mettre tête ensemble pour les enfants Dominique en Ozo, en l'école, en septembre. C'est ça qui goal, moi, bon matin là. Et moi, bien satisfait comment travail là calé. Nous avons travaillé en auditorium, administration block, travail qui a continué. Mais moi, ça m'a plus venu là, aujourd'hui, pour voir, si nous sommes parés pour septembre. Et bien, moi, j'ai tapé un mot là, qui a dit, moi, si nous faisons des autres habitants, nous sommes parés pour septembre, et ça a fait chez moi bien content.
Là, nous continuons ce cyclone qui a venu, nous avons couru faire shopping. Mais ce n'est pas tout bétain nous pour gagner. Chef département environnement santé Tazi Thomas.
Là où vous manger, là où aller gagner manger en supermarché avant storm. Pas gagner c'est manger là où ni pour mettre en fridge là pour faire être simple. Manger comme chicken, viande on a whole. Viande ça c'est viande fouet. Changement de c'est viande avec manger ou ni pour mettre en réfrigérateur là pour faire être simple. Ou pas gagner viande, pas gagner slet, pas gagner cheese, pas gagner pièce manger ça là on est pour gagner pour mettre en fridge là. Quitter yo en repos. Quitter yo en repos parce que ou pas ça servir tout bitin l'autre jour après storm là. So quitter yo en repos ça même qui empêche ou taper maladie horde manger qui pas simple.
Nous ne pouvons prendre précaution et puis manger chauffé après un désastre.
Là où vous manger, là où aller ka gagner manger en supermarché avant storm, pas gagner c'est manger là on est pour mettre en fridge là pour faire être simple. Manger comme chicken, viande on a whole, viande ça c'est viande fouet. Hein? Changement de c'est viande avec manger on est pour mettre en réfrigérateur là pour faire être simple. Ou pas gagner viande, pas gagner slet, pas gagner cheese, pas gagner pièce manger ça là on est pour gagner pour mettre en fridge là. Quitter yo en repos. Quitter yo en repos parce que ou pas ça servir tout bitin l'autre jour après storm là. So quitter yo en repos ça même qui empêche ou taper maladie horde manger qui pas simple.
Activité pour célébration émancipation qui a continué. Aujourd'hui, on a commencé l'exhibition émancipation en centre culturel en Old Mill Center.
Nous qui continuons avec l'exhibition émancipation qui a pris place en dans Old Mill Cultural Center qui a commencé lundi le 15 juillet pour le 19 juillet. Ça c'est activité pas activité un jour, c'est activité en whole semaine. Là nous avons toutes différentes qualités belle ambité à display en Old Mill là. Après ça, nous sommes venus avec Golden Drum Award Ceremony là, qui a pris place à la State House Dominica. Activité ça qui a pris place à la State House là, avec qui le 26 juillet.
Changer nous en temps cyclone, fait préparation, bonheur. Ça c'est tout à ce nouvelle en créole. Non, monsieur Geno Jacob, au revoir.
That was the Creole News highlight. A low-level trough is expected to result in unstable conditions across the area. This is expected to generate occasional cloudiness with scattered showers and a slight chance of isolated thunderstorm. People in areas prone to flooding, landslides, and falling rocks are advised to exercise caution. A relative reduction in moisture levels can be expected. Slight to moderate seas can be expected in open water with waves peaking near 5 feet during the period. As we're in the midst of the hurricane season, it is crucial to take proactive steps to protect yourself and your family. Today's tip: unplug appliances. Power surges caused by strong winds or flooding can damage sensitive equipment and create potential hazards. By disconnecting appliances, you not only protect them from potential harm, but also ensure your safety by minimizing the risk of electric fires. Make sure to unplug all non-essential devices, including computers, televisions, and kitchen appliances. And remember to check that any cords are safely stored away from water sources. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dn. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I am Aaliyah Martin. Thank you for watching and stay safe.